The blue glow of my laptop screen illuminates my face in the darkness of my Palo Alto apartment. Outside, fog rolls through the valley, but I notice only the numbers on my screen. $11,682.72. 3 years of automatic payments to my parents, flowing like an underground river they never acknowledged. I take a sip of herbal tea, gone cold hours ago. The clock on my microwave reads 11:17 p.m. Too late for most people to be working, but my normal hours disappeared somewhere between startup funding rounds and proving myself worthy. My phone vibrates against the glass coffee table. Dad's name appears on the screen. Unusual. He typically communicates through Mom, maintaining plausible deniability about needing my help. Hello, I answer, keeping my voice neutral. Sierra. His tone carries that familiar edge, like I've already disappointed him somehow. Hi, Dad. Everything okay? I minimize the banking window, though he can't possibly see it. He clears his throat. About Thanksgiving next month. Your mother and I were thinking, maybe you shouldn't come this year. My fingers freeze over the keyboard. What? Jenna's boyfriend will be visiting. He's impressive, corporate, well-spoken. He pauses. Your job. It's hard to explain. The words hit like individual stones. I think of my corner office overlooking San Francisco Bay, the team of 37 people who report to me, the medical device that's currently saving lives in 17 countries. My job is hard to explain. I repeat, the words hollow. People ask questions. What you do, it doesn't sound. He trails off, searching for a word that won't sound cruel. Traditional. Traditional. Like Jenna's marketing career. Like the path they always wanted for me. I see. The apartment suddenly feels colder. Don't take it personally, he continues, his voice hardening. This dinner is important to your sister. We need to make a good impression. My throat tightens. And I don't make a good impression. For God's sake, Sierra, why do you always make everything so difficult? The familiar frustration rises in his voice, the one I've heard since childhood science fairs and debate tournaments. Just skip this one. Come for Christmas instead. I remain silent, staring at the banking window I've reopened. 3 years of helping them keep their house after Dad's early retirement. 3 years of paying off Mom's credit cards when her real estate business dried up. Fine. His voice drops to that dangerous quiet I remember from childhood. If you insist on coming, don't call me your father. My finger hovers over the red button on the screen. The emptiness spreads through my chest like spilled ink. Sierra, did you hear me? I heard you. My voice sounds distant, even to myself. The call ends. I don't remember if he hung up or I did. I sit motionless, breathing in the silence of my expensive apartment. The memories flood back without permission, Jenna's high school graduation party that took over the house for a weekend. My acceptance to MIT announced over microwave leftovers. The time Mom drove 4 hours to bring Jenna her forgotten prom shoes, but couldn't make the 30-minute drive to my robotics competition. My hand moves to the trackpad almost of its own accord. I navigate to the automatic payments section. 3 different accounts, their mortgage, utilities, and a monthly cash transfer labeled family support. I think about Thanksgiving dinners past. My questions about their finances met with vague answers and quick subject changes. The way Dad toasted Jenna's minor promotion while my Series B funding round went unmentioned. I click cancel payment on each account, one by one. No warning, no explanation. Just the quiet click of my decision rippling into their world. The confirmation screens glow softly. This recurring payment has been successfully canceled. I close the laptop with finality. Sometimes love means walking away, I whisper to the empty room. My phone rings again. I expect Dad or maybe Mom, somehow already aware of what I've done. But it's Aunt Karen's number, the only family member who ever came to my graduations. Hi, Aunt Karen. I say, my voice thick. Just checking on my favorite niece, she says, her Carolina accent warming the words. You working too hard again? I'm fine. The lie comes automatically. Then I reconsider. Actually, no, I'm not fine. Tell me, she says, no surprise in her voice. I explain what happened, each word loosening something inside me. Oh, honey, she says when I finish. You know I love my sister, but this has gone on long enough. You've given enough. Have I? My voice cracks. Sometimes I think if I just try harder. Sierra Catherine Winters, she interrupts, using my full name like she did when I was small. There's a difference between supporting family and enabling them to hurt you. Tears slip down my cheeks, but my voice steadies. I've given enough. It's about time, dear, she says softly. It's about time. After we hang up, I notice 2 notifications on my phone. A calendar reminder, Mom's birthday, 3 weeks, and a text from HR about a new hire named Luke Evans starting Monday. My mother's face appears on my phone screen, an incoming call. I watch until it stops ringing. For the first time in years, I don't pick up. 21 days of silence feels like freedom. I delete another voicemail from Mom without listening to it the 6th today and place my phone face down on my glass desk. Through my office window, San Francisco Bay sparkles beneath an October sun. The water's calm despite the approaching storm in my personal life. A knock on my door pulls me from contemplation. Come in, I call, straightening the papers before me. Luke Evans steps inside, his pressed navy suit and confident stride matching his resume perfectly. 6'2" with a firm handshake and clear blue eyes that maintain appropriate eye contact. Jenna's type, though I don't know that yet. The Henderson contract is ready for final review, he says, placing a folder on my desk. They agreed to all our terms, including exclusive distribution rights. I nod, appreciating his efficiency. $3 billion over 5 years. Not bad for your 3rd week. A hint of pride crosses his face. Thank you for the opportunity, Miss Winters. Sierra is fine. I open the folder. Good work, Luke. He hesitates at the door. The whole team is impressed with how you handled the negotiations. Henderson wasn't budging until you stepped in. Something warm unfolds in my chest, simple recognition. Freely given. I've grown hungrier for it than I realized. After he leaves, my phone buzzes again. Dad this time. I silence it without a second thought. 1,000 miles away, my mother stands in her kitchen, phone pressed to her ear, knuckles white. What do you mean our service is disconnected? She asks the internet provider. We've never missed a payment. She jots down account numbers, verification codes, payment dates, normal steps in a routine customer service call until the representative says something that makes her blood run cold. Ma'am, the automatic payments were canceled 3 weeks ago. Dad appears in the doorway as she hangs up. What's wrong? The internet shut off. Her voice trembles. They said all the automatic payments were canceled. His face hardens with realization. Sierra. But why would she? Call Stephanie. He cuts her off, referencing their last remaining credit card. We need to everything on that until we figure this out. Mom's hands shake as she dials. The party's tomorrow, Richard. What if? She'll answer eventually, he says, but his eyes tell a different story. The next evening, while I'm reviewing quarterly projections, Aunt Karen sends a text. Party started, lights flickering. Your mother's having a meltdown. I picture the Scenarelatives arriving with wrapped gifts, the pride in Mom's voice as she welcomes them to another perfectly orchestrated gathering. Jenna helping arrange flowers while Dad pours drinks. Then darkness falling, not metaphorically but literally, as the power company makes good on their 72-hour disconnection notice. My phone lights up with a text from Mom. Please help us. The lights went out, the water stopped, everyone is here. I place the phone screen down and return to my spreadsheets. 20 minutes later, a notification appears on my computer. A company-wide email introduces Luke Evans to departments outside sales. I click his personnel file out of idle curiosity. Previous employer, Harrington Media. Position, Senior Account Executive. Reference, Jason Willis, VP Marketing. The name strikes me as familiar. I search my emails and find it a casual message from Jenna 6 months ago. Having dinner with Jason from work tonight. He's introducing me to someone perfect for me. Luke Evans isn't just some new hire. He's Jenna's boyfriend. The impressive, corporate, well-spoken man Dad didn't want me to embarrass. I closed the file without taking action. Luke's qualifications are impeccable. The fact that my family never bothered to learn what company I helped found Devin as they cashed my checks is not his problem. My phone rings. Aunt Karen's name lights up the screen. Hello? I answer, my voice steady. Hold on, sugar. Her voice sounds distant, as if she's holding the phone away. A flicker of video appears me parents' dining room lit by emergency candles, faces glowing in the warm light. Mom flutters around, apologizing profusely. Dad stands rigid by the mantel, his jaw tight with humiliation. Jenna speaks animatedly to someone just out of frame, likely explaining away the embarrassment. Then the camera shifts, and I see Luke's face, illuminated by candlelight. Wait, he says, his expression changing as he notices Aunt Karen's phone. Is that Sierra? Aunt Karen brings the phone closer to her face. Yes, I'm talking to my niece. Do you know her? The room goes quiet. Conversations halt mid-sentence. Luke's confusion is visible even through the small screen. Miss Winters? From Metatronics? Yes, Aunt Karen says, her voice laced with mischief. Sierra Winters. The camera pans across stunned faces, landing finally on Dad, whose expression shifts from annoyance to disbelief. You work with Sierra? Mom asks, moving closer to the phone. Luke nods, his professional demeanor intact despite the awkward circumstances. I work at Metatronics. Sierra is one of the co-founders. I report directly to her. The silence spreads through the room like spilled wine, impossible to contain. Jenna's face appears in frame, horror and embarrassment battling for dominance. Dad clears his throat. Well, of course. Sierra's very accomplished. We're tremendously proud. His voice fades as the words fall flat against years of indifference. I end the call, set down my phone, and for the first time in 21 days, I smile. Sometimes revenge arrives in unexpected packages, wearing pressed navy suits and carrying billion-dollar contracts. The email notification chimes at 6:17 a.m. I've been awake since 4, scrolling through quarterly reports instead of sleeping. Luke Evans's name appears in bold on my screen, sent 5 minutes ago. Subject: Last night. My thumb hovers over the delete button. I don't need drama spilling into my professional life, but curiosity wins. Sierra: I want to apologize for the awkward situation yesterday. When I accepted this position, I had no idea you were Jenna's sister. She never mentioned your name or your connection to Metatronics during our relationship. To be absolutely clear, I've decided to end things with Jenna. This decision has nothing to do with your position as my supervisor and everything to do with her behavior toward both you and others at the party. The disrespect I witnessed doesn't align with my values. I remain committed to my role at Metatronics and will continue to maintain absolute professionalism. If you feel this creates an uncomfortable work environment, I understand and am open to discussing alternatives. Respectfully, Luke Evans. I read it twice before typing a measured response. Luke, thank you for your directness. Your personal relationships remain your business. I hired you for your qualifications, which haven't changed. We'll continue as professionals. Sierra Winters, Chief Innovation Officer, Metatronics. Simple, clear, boundaries intact. I hit send and close my laptop. My phone buzzes immediately. Not Luke, Jenna. The texts arrive in rapid succession. What did you say to Luke? He broke up with me this morning. Answer me. I know you did this. You've always been jealous of me. Fix this. The barrage continues while I shower and dress. 10 years ago, each message would have pierced me like individual needles. Now they bounce off like rain on a windshield. When I finally pick up my phone again, 17 new messages glow on the screen. The last one: "Please, Sierra, I really love him." I type one response: "He didn't leave because I told him to. He left because of how you treat people." Then I silence notifications from her number. The Carrington merger puts us 6 months ahead of projections. 40 pairs of eyes focus on me in our glass-walled conference room. I stand straight, shoulders back, voice steady. The PowerPoint behind me displays growth charts that climb like mountain ranges. Questions before we move to departmental updates. Hands raise. I call on them one by one, answering with precision. This room, these people, they see me. Actually see me. Not as someone's daughter or sister, but as a leader who built something valuable. Marcus from engineering asks about integration timelines. Sophia from legal clarifies contract details. Luke, sitting quietly in the back, nods appreciatively at my explanations without drawing attention to himself. After the meeting, my assistant Diana hands me a coffee. The board called. They want to move up the quarterly review. Apparently, they've seen the Carrington numbers. Schedule it whenever works. We're ready. I take the coffee, our fingers briefly touching. Thanks for handling everything while I was out yesterday. That's what a team does. She smiles, warm and genuine. We've got your back. The contrast stings. My team rallies while my family fractures. I push the thought away and walk to my next meeting. The cousins are in an uproar, Aunt Karen says, buttering her bread. We sit at an outdoor cafe 3 blocks from my office. The spring sun warms our table while a light breeze carries the scent of nearby flowers. About what? I pick at my salad, still not hungry after days of turmoil. About how Richard and Diane treated you all these years. She leans forward, lowering her voice. Turns out, they've been telling everyone you abandoned the family when you got successful. That you forgot where you came from. My fork freezes midway to my mouth. What? But after the birthday disaster? Her eyes crinkle with satisfaction. Everyone saw the truth. Your Uncle Bill called Richard directly and asked why they never mentioned their daughter ran Metatronics. She chuckles softly. I wish I could have seen his face. Something shifts inside me, that strange sensation when the narrative you've accepted unravels. I've spent years believing I stood alone. So they know now, about the payments, about everything. Aunt Karen reaches across the table, her hand covering mine. The gold bangles on her wrist catch the sunlight, reminding me of Sunday afternoons at her house when I was small, the only place where my questions were welcomed instead of silenced. Honey, half the family is furious with them. Even your cousin Rachel, who never disagrees with anyone, told your mother she should be ashamed. A lump forms in my throat. I didn't expect that. Blood doesn't always mean blindness. She squeezes my hand. Some of us have seen the truth for years. The doorbell rings at 8:43 p.m. I'm halfway through reviewing a patent application, barefoot in yoga pants, hair piled messily on top of my head. When I check the security camera, my stomach drops. My parents stand outside my door, 2 small suitcases beside them. I consider not answering. Consider the peace of my quiet apartment, the sanctuary I've built. But running solves nothing. I open the door. Sierra. My mother steps forward, arms outstretched as if the last month never happened. We've missed you. My father remains half a step behind her, eyes downcast, hands shoved in his pockets. Can we come in? I step aside without speaking. They enter my space, eyes widening at the view of the bay from my floor-to-ceiling windows, the tasteful furniture, the awards displayed discreetly on my bookshelf. Beautiful place, my mother murmurs, running her hand along my kitchen counter. You've done well for yourself. My father clears his throat. We may have overreacted about Thanksgiving. Family should be together for holidays. Not an apology. Not even close. Water? I ask, my voice neutral. They accept, and we sit awkwardly in my living room, the silence stretching between us until my father breaks it. The thing is, Sierra, he begins, looking at my mother for confirmation. We've been talking. With your position and everything, maybe you could support us with $2,500 a month. It's not much for someone like you. The audacity nearly takes my breath away. No real amends, no acknowledgement, just a different approach to the same extraction. And how much will Jenna contribute? I ask quietly. My mother blinks rapidly. Well, Jenna's in a difficult place right now. The breakup has been hard on her. She needs time to recover. I see. I set my water glass down carefully. So, I have two options for you. Either Jenna contributes equally, or we draw up a legal agreement for your house. Your choice. My father's face reddens. The vein in his temple, the one I feared as a child, begins to pulse. You're setting conditions? We raised you. Now you're trying to put a price on family? My mother's eyes fill with tears. After everything we've done for you, all the sacrifices, I stand, suddenly calm in the storm of their anger. The fear that once paralyzed me has dissolved, replaced by clarity. I think you should leave my house. My father stands too, looming over me the way he did when I was small. But I don't shrink back, don't apologize, don't offer compromise. I simply wait by the door until they gather their suitcases and walk out. Family relationships often have hidden financial tensions. But some bonds, I'm learning, are too toxic to maintain at any price. The afternoon sun splashes through floor-to-ceiling windows, bathing our expanded conference room in golden light. 52 employees, nearly double our team from 6 months ago, sit attentively as I outline Medtronic's expansion into European markets. Our cardiac monitoring system has received EU approval. I announce, watching satisfaction spread across faces that have become my second family. By this time next quarter, we'll be saving lives in 17 additional countries. Applause ripples through the room. I take a slow breath, steadying myself against the wall of windows overlooking San Francisco Bay. The water sparkles below, constant and changing all at once, much like the woman I've become. Dr. Sanchez, our head of research, raises her hand. Will this affect the timeline for the pediatric adaptation? No. My voice carries easily now, confidence filling its edges. Luke's team has accelerated development. In fact, I nod toward him in the second row. The board approved his promotion to Director of Product Development yesterday. Luke offers a small, professional nod. His engagement with Jenna feels like ancient history now, buried beneath 6 months of exemplary work. I've never mentioned our family connection at the office. Some boundaries remain sacred. Back in my office, I swipe away 3 new voicemails without listening. Mom's desperate pleas have evolved over months, first demanding, then bargaining, now almost pitifully cheerful as she pretends nothing happened. Dad sent an email last week about family misunderstandings that have gone on too long. Jenna texts weekly about needing business advice, transparent code for access to my connections. My assistant Sarah appears in the doorway. Your aunt's online too. I pick up immediately. Karen, how's Charleston? Humid as Satan's armpit. Her warm Carolina drawl soothes something deep inside me. Just checking your Thanksgiving plans. Those invitations still stand with my friends in Mill Valley. Actually, I'm hosting this year. The words surprise me even as I say them. Well, look at you, pride radiates through her voice. Your own Thanksgiving. Nothing fancy. Team members without family nearby, a few friends, maybe 15 people. I swallow hard. First holiday completely on my own terms. Not on your own, sugar, just with people who actually see you. After we hang up, I stare at the engraved invitation on my desk. The Women in Healthcare Innovation Gala happens on Black Friday, the perfect excuse to stay firmly in San Francisco through the holiday weekend. The awards ceremony glimmers with crystal and silver when I arrive 3 days later, pleasantly full from hosting my first Thanksgiving dinner. The warmth of genuine laughter and appreciation still lingers, so different from the tense silence of family holidays past. Sierra Winters announces the presenter for revolutionary advances in accessible cardiac monitoring. Walking to the podium, I spot 2 unexpected figures slipping into rear seats. Mom and Dad, dressed in church clothes, looking awkwardly hopeful. I focus on the award, cool and soft in my hands. Thank you, I begin, scanning friendly faces. Innovation rarely happens in isolation. I'm particularly grateful to my Aunt Karen, who taught me that support means celebrating someone's true self, not an image you've created for them. I say nothing about my parents. Their applause seems hollow among the genuine cheers. Later, as I gather my things to leave, Luke appears beside me, clutching his water glass too tightly. Got a minute? He asks. We find a quiet corner away from mingling guests. I've wanted to say this for months, he begins. After Jenna and I broke up, she told me things. About your childhood. How they treated you. His fingers tighten around his glass. She meant it to explain their behavior, but it just... He shakes his head. I need you to know you made the right choice. Some families don't deserve second chances. A knot loosens in my chest, validation from the most unexpected source. That night, social media explodes with congratulatory posts. Mom shares the foundation's professional photo of me receiving the award. So proud of our daughter. We always knew she would change the world. Proud parents. Cousins and distant relatives pile on, claiming they always supported Sierra's brilliant mind and knew she would make the family proud. College friends and colleagues respond with receipts, photos of themselves at my MIT graduation when my parents were absent, screenshots of texts where I confided about family dismissal, stories of helping me move apartments when no family appeared. I maintain digital silence through it all, watching truth and fiction collide in real time. 3 days later, I post a single photo of me new chosen family gathered around my Thanksgiving table, faces bright with genuine affection. The caption reads simply, "Grateful for those who celebrate your journey, not just your destination." The spring sun glints off my windshield as I navigate the winding streets of my parents' neighborhood. Brick homes with manicured lawns stand like sentinels of suburban success. My knuckles whiten against the steering wheel. They're 3 months behind on property taxes, Aunt Karen had warned during our call yesterday. Your father's pride is the only thing holding that house together now. I park across the street, checking my reflection in the rearview mirror. The woman staring back bears little resemblance to the girl who used to live here. My shoulders square as I gather my laptop bag. The walkway to their front door reveals neglect weeds pushing through cracked concrete, paint peeling from the shutters, the sprinkler system clearly broken for months. The brass knocker feels unexpectedly cold against my knuckles. Dad opens the door. The past year has carved new valleys into his face, added silver to his temples. His eyes widen briefly before narrowing. Sierra. My name sounds like an action on his lips. Hello, Dad. The words come out steady, practiced. Mom appears behind him, her smile too bright. Honey, what a wonderful surprise. She pulls me into a hug that smells of desperation and drugstore perfume. The living room looks smaller than I remember. The furniture arrangement hasn't changed in 15 years, but everything seems worn now, faded cushions, threadbare carpet paths, dust collecting on the piano no one ever played. Can I get you something to drink? Mom's voice carries the artificial cheerfulness I remember from childhood disasters. Coffee? Tea? Water is fine. I place my laptop bag on the coffee table, noticing the stack of unopened bills beside a vase of wilting flowers. Mom bustles to the kitchen, while Dad lowers himself into his recliner, the leather cracking beneath him. You should have called first, he says. Would you have answered? His jaw tightens. Before he can respond, footsteps sound on the stairs. Jenna appears, looking polished despite the household's decay. Sierra? What are you doing here? Her surprise seems rehearsed. Mom returns with water in the good crystal, reserved for company. Isn't this lovely? Both my girls home on a Sunday. I take a small sip, letting silence fill the room. They exchange glances, a familiar choreography of unspoken signals. We've missed you so much, sweetheart. Mom perches on the edge of the sofa beside me. It hasn't been the same without our little girl. Dad clears his throat. Your mother's arthritis has been acting up. The specialist bills aren't covered by insurance. Jenna nods solemnly. We've been helping as much as we can. She sits opposite me, crossing her legs. But times are tough for everyone. I place my water glass on a coaster, the soft clink punctuating their performance. Is that why you invited me here? To discuss finances? Of course not. Mom's hand flutters to her chest. But since you brought it up, we thought maybe you could help with a little something. Just until we get back on our feet. I unzip my laptop bag. I think we need to review some history first. Their eyes follow my movements as I open my computer on the coffee table. The screen illuminates with a spreadsheet. This is a record of every payment I've made to support this household over the past 4 years. I turn the screen toward them. Mortgage, utilities, credit cards, medical bills. A total of $147,892.36. The color drains from Mom's face. Dad's mouth opens and closes without sound. That's impossible, Jenna finally says. I click to the next screen. These are text messages from all of you about my career. I read aloud, Sierra's playing with computers again. Something about robots and healthcare, who knows? She always was in her own little world. Another click. And these are emails from you, Jenna, to various people in my industry, asking about job opportunities while simultaneously undermining my reputation. The silence thickens as they stare at the evidence of their betrayal. Dad recovers first. We never asked for that money. No, you just accepted it without acknowledgement. Mom's tears start flowing, not the manipulative ones I've seen before, but genuine shock. We didn't know. That's the problem. I close my laptop. You never bothered to know anything about me. Jenna stands abruptly. This is ridiculous. You show up after a year to throw your success in our faces? I'm here to establish boundaries. My voice remains steady. If you want a relationship with me going forward, there are terms. I count them off on my fingers. 1. Acknowledge the support I've provided. 2. Financial independence. I will not be your safety net. 3. Respect for my career and my choices. Dad's face hardens. So you're giving ultimatums now? To your own parents? I'm offering a pathway forward based on mutual respect. Respect? He stands, towering over me like he did when I was young. You don't dictate terms to family. Mom looks between us, torn. Richard, please. No, his voice booms. No daughter of mine makes demands like this. Jenna grabs her purse. This is exactly why I told them not to bother with you anymore. She storms toward the door. You were always difficult, always had to be different. I place my laptop back in its bag and stand. My hands don't shake anymore when he raises his voice. At the doorway, I pause to look back at them. Mom's tears have smudged her makeup. Dad stands rigid, pride preventing him from seeing what he's losing. Family isn't about blood. It's about respect. And when respect is gone, so is a relationship. The door closes behind me with a soft click. Nothing like the dramatic slam teenage me would have wanted. Outside, I breathe deeply, filling my lungs with spring air and freedom. The weight I've carried for years lifts from my shoulders as I walk to my car without looking back. Setting boundaries with toxic family members is one of life's hardest challenges. Would you have given Sierra's family another chance? Why or why not? The morning sunlight streams through floor-to-ceiling windows of Medtronic's headquarters. I stand at the glass, watching San Francisco Bay sparkle like scattered diamonds. Behind me hangs the wall I've nicknamed Vindication, in my private Thought 16 framed awards, 3 magazine covers, and the patent certificate for our cardiac monitoring system, now used in 32 countries. Miss Winters? My assistant Sarah appears in the doorway. The mentorship group is ready in conference room B. I nod, collecting my tablet. Have the scholarship applications arrived? Just this morning, 43 applicants this round. I smile. Good. In the conference room, 12 young women rise as I enter. Their eyes shine with a familiar hunger. I recognize the need to prove themselves in a world that underestimates them. Ladies, I begin, success isn't just about technical brilliance. It's about surviving the people who will tell you that you don't belong. 2 hours later, I sit across from Dr. Levine, picking at a loose thread on the office couch. After 2 years of therapy, the furniture feels less intimidating, but the conversations never get easier. You mentioned dreams about your father again, she says. The same one. He's standing at Thanksgiving dinner carving the turkey, and I'm invisible, literally transparent. And your mother? I swallow hard. She looks right through passing Jenna the gravy. Dr. Levine leans forward. What does Sierra need that invisible girl didn't get? The question sits between us, heavy with implications. My throat tightens. Recognition, I whisper. Not for what I achieved, for who I am. That evening, Aunt Karen's FaceTime call catches me reviewing scholarship essays. Her silver-streaked hair is pulled back, her kitchen visible behind her. Got something for you, she says, holding up a cream-colored envelope. From your mother. My stomach drops. How did she... I saw her at the grocery store. She asked me to deliver it. Aunt Karen's expression remains neutral. No pressure either way, honey. The letter arrives 2 days later. I place it unopened on my kitchen counter, where it sits while I prepare for Thanksgiving. I've invited 14 people colleagues, friends from my running group, my therapist, and Aunt Karen, who's flying in tomorrow. The envelope watches me like an unwelcome guest as I check my shopping list. When I finally open it 3 hours later, the single page holds just 4 sentences in my mother's familiar handwriting. I was wrong. You deserved better than what we gave you. This isn't asking for anything. I just needed you to know. No manipulation, no requests, just recognition. I fold it carefully, sliding it back into the envelope. On Thanksgiving morning, I arrange 15 chairs around my extended dining table, 14 confirmed guests, and 1 empty seat with no place setting. Possibility, not expectation. After dinner, when everyone moves to the living room for coffee, I return to my home office. The laptop screen glows as I log into my banking portal. The automated payments section shows 5 monthly transfers each, supporting a scholarship for young women from unsupportive families. My phone buzzes with a text. I'm proud of you. My mother's number. 2 years of silence broken with 5 simple words. My fingers hover over the screen. The old Sierra would have ignored it, or worse, lashed out with accumulated hurt. But that Sierra had nothing to prove anymore. I type 2 words. Thank you. Later, after everyone has gone, I walk through my quiet apartment. On my desk sits a framed dollar bill, the first revenue Metatronics ever earned. I trace the glass with my fingertip. For years, I thought being a good daughter meant being endlessly giving. But now I know love that demands sacrifice without gratitude isn't love. It's manipulation. I close my laptop and turn toward tomorrow.